Yeah, there we go. Right, we're going on to you now. Ruth, explain to me bipolar, manic depression, simply, couple of minutes for people to give them understanding.
So bipolar, manic depression is the best way to describe it. So you've got your manic, you've got your depression, and we struggle to get here, which is, I don't think anyone's here, which is the middle ground. Everyone's like that. But say if this is the middle ground with bipolar, most of the time you're down there or you're up there, and you need the medication to get you anywhere near here. But it's like that for me. So if this is like calmed, level, I live like this, constantly on the edge like that, either going down or going up, and then it's like fine tuning the meds to bring you here. You're never going to be there.
No.
So I get episodes of really dark times, really suicidal thoughts, bit of anxiety. Luckily I don't have a lot of anxiety because I think that's brutal anxiety. Yeah. Depression I can handle because I'm in a safe place. I'll just isolate. It's horrible, but I think this is going to pass, and I can dig in with that and like keep going with it a bit. And I just cry and let stuff out and isolate, and I'm safe, I'm contained.
Yep.
When manic, I'm vile, I'm like a monster. My reactions are off the scale. Like do that and it feels like I've been punched. I'll react.
Drugs,
like
alcohol make it worse?
Anything. You say have that, jump off a bridge, I'll probably do it.
Can your setting make it worse?
Yeah.
You know, if you're here in a field, is it going to be better than if you're in a bar, busy?
It is, but I could end up in a field, the space might be too open and I end up running around like a lunatic, do you know what I mean? So I do need to be contained or sectioned in those manic episodes.
How difficult is it to medicate someone? Because for me, like you said, you're low, suicidal, and then your mania, you're crazy.
Off the map, psycho, being called all nutter, nut job, lunatic, worse than that I am in that moment. But that's not me, that's my illness, that's not Ruth. That's not Ruth.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I'm like that, I just, it's simple as I need to be either sectioned or contained, but not in a cell. Not in a cell.
How difficult is it to get sectioned? You've asked before, haven't you?
Very
Your mum has pleaded.
Very difficult. Like the first time, I think, because I didn't have the awareness and understanding, having insight goes against you. So I can they say you need to start recognising when you're unwell, Ruth, right? So I know what my triggers are, what I'm thinking I'm getting up here.
Yeah.
So then I go and say I need to see someone, I need to be put on the ward for a couple of months, because if I am, I don't need to be sectioned. If they admit us for 2 months, monitor my meds, they know me like the back of the hand, they know what they need to do, but they can't be asked for this because I am difficult sometimes, right? Some of them will go, the initial assessment people, you've got insight, so you've got capacity, and I'm like, there's a difference though. I've got insight that this is going to go west, and by that I mean,
so because you're reasoning with someone.
Yeah, and I've got a little bit of a brain. I'm not massively intelligent, but because I've taken responsibility for my illness and looked it up and like done dialectal behaviour therapy, I do a lot of writing and I try and like keep myself in check.
What's dialectal behavioural therapy?
So it's a step up from CBT.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's based around mindfulness, but it's like difficult to get on the course.
Yeah.
You have to be stable enough to do the course.
Yeah.
It's 6 month intensive.
But you also have to be crazy enough to get on the course.
Yeah, you do, yeah. Unfortunately, but so yeah, like my mom's asked for us to be sectioned, and don't know. So I mean, the police end up getting hold of us. I've been 136 or whatever it is, or section 4, strapped to the bed, admitted, sent home the next day in a taxi.
Right, just tell me about the bar. This isn't a brag. It's something that happened. Why you were at the bar, the state you were in, and what you did.
So I'd just been brayed.
Explain what that is.
Brayed, sorry, I don't know if you know.
Yeah. I know what it is.
So I was in like a hostel type situation because they couldn't put us anywhere. I couldn't go home, my mum couldn't go home. So I'm in this social housing hostel. I got jumped by 2 girls. I could have fought back, but they were trying to get my car, so I had hold of my car keys. So I'm going to have to take this kicking, because otherwise I'm going to get the keys. So all my energies on holding these keys. So I'm on the floor, just pounding my head in, stamping on my head, stamping on my head, stamping on my head. Take the kicking, get up. Went to the hostel. Can you ring the police about this then? No, there's no CCTV, and that even though I'm getting in bother for everything.
Yeah, did anyone witness it?
Yeah, loads of people.
They're not interested though, are they?
They were laughing, they were videoing it and they put it on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm on Facebook getting braid. A couple of people sort of like said, get this down now, you know, it's not right. But I was being put on Facebook, videoed. I don't even know some of the times, you know, like mocked, trolled, all that malarkey. So anyway, I'm like, right, I'm braid, I'm battered.
Yep.
What's the worst thing that happen? So I get in my car, I think I've already had a drink at that point, go down to Durham, walk into a bar. I've probably got a quid or two on us, order a half or whatever, sit myself outside, just think I'll calm myself down with a drink. I know I shouldn't be driving, but then I'll go back to the hostel and just get my head down.
Yep.
Sat in this bar, black and blue, but this bloke comes up, can I buy you a drink? At that point, yes. I'll have a whiskey on the rocks because I think I'm Amy Winehouse at that point. God rest her soul. Do you know what I mean? So he gets us a whiskey, gets the chat on. I'm in no place. You know, I'm defensive, I've just been battered. And he said something along the lines, I said, I'm not interested, I'll have the drink. Bad move for me. But, you know, he said something like, well, I'll you know, I'll rape you. He said, honestly, it sounds like I'm making up, but he said something along the lines of, well, when you're walking home, I'll find you and I'll rape you or something like that. He was a noncy bloke. He was a noncy, because in that state, no man of sound mind would have approached me.
No.
The way I looked, I wasn't dressed to be in a bar. I looked mental.
Dishevelled.
Oh, unreal, black and blue, my face and that, like, and even the way I had presented, like physically, I'm not sat there, can't be sat there like, you know what I mean, my body language would be wild.
Yeah.
So he said that. With that, I've lifted my drink, I've swilled him, I've smashed the glass on the bar. I didn't glass him.
Were you going to glass him?
I think...
Are you at any point in control, or do you just lose it? Is there some common sense that says don't use the glass?
I think for me, I've lost it, right? But I think I never actually want to use weapons. I know a glass isn't a weapon, but you get what I mean? That anger's there. But I've always, you know what I said about the can, I've
there is some control.
So I end up chucking the can so I'm not a person that would use weapons.
Yeah.
Because I hate people's blood and seeing people stabbed and that. But I've chucked the table.
Yeah.
With other people on it. I've pushed him off the stool and started punching him. I've picked the bar stool up and started like cracking him over the head. And he's completely floored. He's pissed himself. The bouncers come out. Luckily, those bouncers, I half knew them when I'm well being out.
People know you, don't they, love? You know you're
and
crazy.
And they're like, some people say, Ruth, it's all right. It's not your fault. Get yourself home. And sometimes I've had a couple of lasses, to be fair, who own bars and that in Durham, take us home in a taxi.
Really?
Yeah.
So they've had your back.
Yeah.
That's nice to know that some people do.
That's what I'm saying. There is a handful of people like that. I don't socialise with them on a daily basis, but they would be there and go, she's not well, get her home. Okay,
so that's mania, that's manic. Yeah. Tell us about the lowest, or a low point, a really low point.
Low point.
When you tried to take your own life.
So I've just missed prison. No, sorry, it's before that. I've got 3 or 4.
Possibly facing prison.
Facing time. I've got 3 or 4 court dates.
Yep.
All my family have had to put, cut ties. I've disgusted them because you can't
Is your mum still there for you?
Just at that point,
right, okay.
By the skin of my teeth, I'm in the door.
Yeah.
And everyone's disgusted because even with mental illness, you've got to take responsibility.
My very good friend Bradders always used to say, mental health is no excuse for bad behaviour.
Exactly.
There is some of it. Yeah. There is a difference, isn't there? But there's a line.
But if I'd been hospitalised properly, it would, as usual, it never.
That's what you wanted,
yeah,
and it didn't happen.
And it didn't happen, and they're under prosecution. The trust, my trust is broken. It is down to them. But then my behaviour after that, I deserve to be prosecuted, represented. So anyway, I've got these court dates. My mum's let us in, but we're not really. She's like, you're going to have to live by my rules again. She's had to go back to basics, old school parenting.
Yep.
No one's coming in.
Yep.
You're not getting out.
Yep.
You need to be in by this time. Still want to be out, don't I? Still want to be out and about, running from my problems, drinking, in a little bit of a
Did you not have the insight you have now?
God, no, not at all.
Now, you're very switched on, aren't you?
Yeah,
withdrawn.
Yeah.
Not withdrawn in yourself.
No.
You're withdrawn from society, as it were, to keep yourself safe.
And other people safe.
I
don't mean physically. I don't just lash out randomly at people, but emotionally, relationships, I don't get in them because it's not fair on men at this point.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Sorry,
So
back to your lowest
back
point.
to the lowest point. So I'm sat in my bedroom one night and I'm like, what's happened to my life? I'm in this room, back in my mother's house. I've got all these meds around us. I wasn't medicated properly still. I don't know what I'm taking. I might go to prison. No one's speaking to us. I'm the joke of the community. Where do I go from here? What do I do? Like, there's no point no more. There's no way out of this for me, like, from going forward. And then I think I shouted at my mum saying I'm going to take an overdose.
Yep.
And she thought I was like, the boy who cried wolf. She's like, oh,
Yep.
whatever, because of all my behaviours being all over. So I'm like, she's not fucking off.
Was that a cry for help when you said that, do you think?
But I'd said it so many times.
Okay.
It's difficult for her, and she was medicated because of me.
Yeah.
So she's on diazepam and zopiclone. It's knocking her out. It's not doing out for me because I'm still up high. So I've got this box. I've still got it written, and I shouldn't have it, of meds that I've ended up coming off. So I've got loads of quetiapine. I've got all sorts of stuff because they don't really tell you to give it back.
Yeah.
So I'm taking quetiapine, I'm taking diazepam, I'm taking paracetamol, I'm taking promethazine.
Paracetamol.
I'm taking lorazepam, I'm taking what else? Metazapine, I'm taking a sodium valproate in there. Then I lose track of what I'm taking, paracetamol.
Yep.
And then I've had
Were you taking them with alcohol?
So then I've had hidden a bit of drink in my room. I've knocked that down. Next thing I know, I can remember just being like that, and my mum coming in and being like, she has, do you know what I mean? Rings the ambulance. Next thing I remember, they're trying to put some shoes on us at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah.
And quetiapine makes you hypersensitive to touch as well.
Yeah.
So, the female paramedic, I can just remember, I think I punched her in the face or caught her in the face. Obviously, I'm not swinging back and punching her at that situation, but she's trying to put my shoe on, and I'm like, get off, because I'm not. So then I'm like, oh, I can't really remember after that. Obviously, took us to hospital. I think I was on oxygen drip.
When you come round, disappointed?
I just was like that. To be fair, it's the best corned beef pie I've ever had, though, what they give us. When I woke up, I was like...
Being a man who appreciates his food, can I ask you, what would you say as an end note to people who say people who take their own life, try and take their own life, are being selfish? Because that's a common thing.
I see the point from an outside perspective if you've never had mental health problems, but it's a very sad situation when you get to that point. It's a very real thing, and it's not for attention, because if it was for attention, you'd keep going as you were. Do you get what I mean? And you'd keep letting this behaviour take over you, and the mania. I could just go on like a like a manic lunatic my whole life and just give into it and say, well, everyone thinks
You're not going to, are you?
No, I'm not, because I've got good morals within us. I've got self-respect.
Yep.
I don't need to prove anything to anybody, but I do it with my family and to myself, and I need to create a life for myself. But it's not selfish. Sometimes it's the only way out, and I was nearly there. It takes you to the depths that it's not just a bit of depression. I'm not disregarding any mental illness, but when you've got manic depression, it's another level. And if I didn't have, I've tried to strangle myself in the cells, and I went for a bit, and they've snapped my jaw to pull us out of it, the police, but then just left us. There's no empathy, there's no understanding.
No, there is no understanding, is there?
If you ring the crisis team and say, I'm going to kill myself,
they
say, we can't help you then, put the phone down, because that's on you. Because then if I do, it'll be the comeback onto them. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not. It is selfish in a way. You're leaving me, and that's the only thing now that stops us. I don't think about me. I think about my mum. I think about my dad, my brother. I've got a niece and nephew. I've got a couple of friends who
That's
care.
good.
And I think,
that's it.
What I think. What about them?
Well, when you're down, you just
it would
think.
finish my mum off.
Well, there you go.
And
so
I live my life. Not. She doesn't control us or tell us what to do, but I owe her everything. She doesn't think that. She just wants us to be well, but I will do. I wrote a card this morning. I endeavour to give you the peace of mind that you deserve now, because that's all she wants. She doesn't want happiness and money, and because life's not like that.
No.
We live in the real world in my family. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. Accept stuff. But all she wants is peace of mind. So I do everything, including going to bed at 10 o'clock and locking that door, not flying out of my car when I'm in a bad mood. I contain myself.
Not drinking.
No
I
don't
drugs.
Smoke, because she doesn't mind if I want a cigarette.
Keeping out of relationships.
I don't bring lads back to the house ever. I did when I was unwell, and that's why she had to change the locks. But I do everything I can now Even my brother and his family and my dad have turned up at theirs and upset their mental health suffers because of mine.
Yeah.
It's the knock-on effect.
Affects family, doesn't
so
it?
if you have mental illness to the level of someone like myself, you must get to a point and take responsibility for it, because nobody's coming to save you. Even a psychiatrist, they can't save you. They're not in your head. You have to do the work and you have to toughen up. If you've got an illness like this, you can't be like, oh, poor me, you know, everything's shit in my life. It's not. But you have to adapt and overcome. Do you know what I mean? And
Yep.
you can't use boundaries and blockages and people saying, no, you can't come here and I don't trust you, you're not well enough. You think, right, well, you know, leave that there, move forward in a different way. How can I divert?
Ruth,
Yeah.
Mental Health Mondays.
Yeah.
Will you do a live with us
Yeah.
in a couple of 3 weeks?
Yeah. 100%.
Ruth, manic depression, bipolar. Thank you for your time.
Not a problem.